Good morning and a happy day to everybody out there. Thank you for joining myself and my esteemed guest, Jason Caywood, here on Tech Beat Bites this morning. Jason and I are super excited to share some thoughts with you this morning. Before we do that, I did just want to get through a couple of housekeeping items really quick. My name is Earl Foote. I'm founder, CEO of Nexus IT Consultants. Nexus IT is an outsourced IT cybersecurity compliance and cloud firm based here in northern Utah and servicing a nationwide footprint. These Tech Beat segments are now available on all of the major podcast platforms. Definitely would appreciate your support. If you find the content valuable here, go and subscribe on Spotify or iHeartRadio or Pandora, Google, Apple, wherever you choose to consume your podcast. We would appreciate your support there, and hopefully, the content and the thought leadership that's shared here on TechBeat is something that helps you in your journey, and something you can carry with you now at the gym or in your car, on your commute, or wherever you'd like to be, and listen to it. Did want to mention that we will take some questions. So if you have any questions for Jason, who is a master at sales and prospecting, he teaches that for a living. And I know this is a topic that many of us as entrepreneurs and leaders and sales professionals struggle with. So any questions you have or comments, please feel free to post those in whatever platform you're joining us from. Also this Thursday here in Utah, we have Cryptopia. It's a Web3 blockchain, crypto, DeFi, NFT, DAO sort of an event. Everything that is blockchain type of technology that is happening this Thursday at the Slopes Event Center. Actually, my band is going to play the after party at Twist in downtown Salt Lake, which starts at 6:30. You can get information on the event at cryptopiaslc.xyz. Again, that's cryptopiaslc.xyz. Nexus IT is sponsoring, and as sponsors, we have a discount code for you. So for a 10% discount, which I know there's only a few tickets left, there are, I think, unlimited virtual tickets if you want to attend virtually. The discount code is Nexus22, all one word and all caps, NEXUS 22. Okay, so also wanted to just let everybody know some of the guests that are coming up on TechBeat here over the next few months. Definitely keep an eye out for announcements on these. Giselle Namadi, the founder of ILO, is joining me on June 2nd at 12 p.m. Johnny Hanna, co-founder and CEO of Homey, on June 15th at 12 p.m. Bassam Salem, the founder, CEO of Atlas RTX, will be joining me. Tim Cooley, author, executive director at Park City Angels. James Jensen, the founder and CEO of Jump and the creator of The Void. Garrett Clark and John Bowers from Silicon Slopes will be joining me. Tara Spalding, managing director of Boom Startup. Sid Tetro, of the CEO of Brandlist, and other awesome local prominent leaders will be joining me on TechBeat in the coming weeks and months. So again, keep an eye out for those. All right, so let's get to the topic and the man of the hour here today. I want to introduce my distinguished guest, Jason Caywood. Jason is a sales executive with over 15 years experience leading and developing teams. He was also a client of Sandler Training for over 12 years, where he experienced the transformational impact of the Sandler System on his personal and professional journey. He has built territories and teams from the ground up all over the country, regularly outgrowing the market by 4 to 7x. Jason is a proud native of Utah and loves helping others reach their maximum potential. All right, Jason, welcome, buddy. I really appreciate you being here with us for this segment of TechBeat.
No, my pleasure. And again, thanks so much for having me. And I have to say this, Earl, you and I are just on the front end of getting to know each other, but you're one of the few people that everyone who has spoken about you loves you to death. There's a few people out there that are like that. And truly every person that's ever talked to me about you has always spoken very highly of you. So you do a lot of good stuff out here in the community, and just really appreciate all you're doing and appreciate the invite today.
Well, that's super nice of you, Jason. I really do appreciate that. Hopefully that always rings true. um, Jason, first of all, I'm going to give you the forum here, but I want you to just kind of fill the audience in a little bit on your journey and how you got to where you're at now and why this, sort of topic's important to you. And then let's just begin to dive in. So, topic is your prospecting plan or lack thereof is costing you millions. As an entrepreneur who's been at my journey for nearly 2.5 decades, I can tell you this is 100% accurate. And in fact, the most of the first decade of my entrepreneurial journey, I was not adequately focused on sales and marketing and prospecting, and certainly that hampered the capabilities of my business to grow. So this is something that I've had to learn, something I've had to teach our team, something that we've had to instill as part of our culture throughout our journey. And I'm looking forward to have you share your knowledge and your thoughts with everybody. So let's do a quick intro, and then maybe dig into why this topic's so important and some of the things that some of the lessons you've learned in your process.
Sure. No, again, really appreciate the opportunity. And so, yeah, my journey, my first job out of college was in finance, made a change. And my next company was a job in sales. And I'll be 100% honest with you, I was terrible. It did not go well on the front end, but I enjoyed it and stayed at it. And we moved around the country to 4 different states around this great country. And when I got to North Carolina, I joined a new company with that move. And about that time, I thought, man, I really want to invest in myself. I want to help myself get better. And my boss at the time, I'm looking around for different options and what can I do? And he said, hey, have you ever heard of this Sandler Training? I'm hearing a lot about it on the radio. So I looked into it and found somebody there in Charlotte and became a client. Earl, I did not have the money to do that. I'll be very upfront about that. It was a stretch to make that investment, but I'm so glad that I did. I remained a client for 12 years, 6 years in their sales training program, and it helped me become a top performer at our organization. Then I shifted over to become a sales director. And for those 6 years, I was in the sales management and leadership program. And it was phenomenal. I learned so much about communication and properly serving clients and everything. And it was life-changing. Those 6 years as a sales director, our team went from 20 million in revenue to 150 million. So rode the rocket ship, learned a lot. And I'll tell you, one thing I've learned the longer I'm in sales is those that are interested in being the best that they can be always have a plan. They always have a system. And the longer I'm in this, the more that rings true. And I want to emphasize something here. Not everybody is interested in being their best. It breaks my heart to think that and to say that, but that's what I've come to learn. Some people are okay in a comfort zone of just, doing what they've always done. And yes, most people out there, they've never put together a plan. They've never put together a system, but they're still doing okay. And they're fine with that. So what we're going to talk about today is for those that are interested in being their best and maximizing their opportunity and what they're capable of. One thing I've seen and watched over the years is something can happen to individuals or companies where things are going well, so they don't look for other opportunities to continue to improve. Right? My uncle, who had a great career in sales and marketing for a global multi-billion-dollar organization, when I was a teenager, he said, Jason, I've seen companies leave millions on the table because things are going well. And that stayed with me, even though I had never even done sales by that point, but it stayed with me. So what we're going to talk about today is how do you develop a prospecting plan to ensure that you're capturing every opportunity out there, you're capturing the right types of opportunities, that you are utilizing your time as effectively and efficiently as possible. So as you said, I'm very passionate about this. I love talking about it and love helping people out any way that I can. So looking at prospecting, one thing I want to share, I'm very fortunate with the colleagues that I have at Sandler. I'm able to talk to and learn from people that are literally top trainers and coaches in the world, top salespeople in the world. And one of the common threads is that they execute a prospecting plan every day and every week. In Sandler, we call it a cookbook, right? Because if you take a recipe out of an actual cookbook, you know, all right, if I put in this much milk, this much flour, this much sugar, this many eggs, this much butter, you're going to get a cake. It's no different in sales. If you can look at your plan, well, hey, I need to get this many new clients. Let me go ahead and reverse engineer that all the way down to the bottom of, well, for me to do that, I've got to make X amount of cold calls per day. I've got to have X amount of networking one-to-ones. I've got to do X amount of free talks out in the community. Whatever it is, and as you can imagine, everybody's mix is a little bit different. But finding that mix and sticking to it no matter what. You know, we were talking a little bit earlier about one of the traps that we can all fall into, and I'll raise my hand because I've fallen into it. We prospect. We fill up our pipeline. We get in all these great, opportunities. We bring on some new clients, and now we're, focused on getting them up and running and onboarding, and we let prospecting go by the wayside. And what happens? Our pipeline dries up. So now we get those clients up and running, and we turn around and there's nothing to work on. There's nothing to focus on. So now we've got to go. So I've seen that, and I've experienced it where it's this constant up and down of prospect hard, get some new clients, get them onboarded, and pipeline goes dry. Start again, prospect like crazy, fill up the pipeline, get some new clients. So that's one mindset I want you to take away from today is prospecting should be a non-negotiable. It should be happening regardless of what's going on with new clients, with existing clients. You should always have, again, I'm going to keep using that term cookbook. There should always be a cookbook that you are executing. I got to do this many of this activity with this frequency, per day, per week, whatever that may be. So I want to share with everybody a specific model that we teach our clients. And it's called the CARE model, all around prospecting, and it's CARE with a K. K stands for keep, A stands for attain, R stands for recapture, and E stands for expand. And here's the question that you want to ask yourself for each one of those quadrants. What is the behavior I should be engaging in, and with what frequency, to keep my existing clients, to attain new clients, to recapture former clients, and to expand existing clients? So let me dive into these a little bit. First of all, I've yet to meet a company that is fully maximizing all four quadrants when we start talking together and working together. They're at a minimum leaving one out, but usually two. And that doesn't mean they're not thinking about it, but they just don't have a specific plan for those quadrants. Everybody's thinking, hey, listen, we really should go and capture some of our former clients, but they're not doing anything for it, right? There's no specific plan. So with that being said, looking at the keep, let's talk about that for a second. Looking at keep, what are the things you need to do to keep your top clients? Right? Maybe it's looking at the clients that are giving you 80% of your business, right? 80-20 rule. So what are the things that you're doing? How many clients per week? That could be, hey, I'm going to make 5 phone calls a week. I'm going to reach out to 5 clients a week just to check in. How are things going? Anything we could be doing better? If there's one reason why you might fire us, what would that be? Right? Having those conversations in an effort to keep their existing relationship as it is. Let's go to attain. Attain is all about finding new clients. What does that entail? That is, asking for referral introductions. That could be cold calls. That could be LinkedIn outreach. That could be networking one-to-ones, things like that. Okay. So as you are building that plan, thinking to yourself, what's it going to take? Where are you strongest? If you're starting a new sales role, you might need to just kind of do everything and get a feel for what you're doing. Okay. So asking yourself, all right, I've got to do X amount of cold calls a day, Y amount of LinkedIn outreach, ask for 5 referrals, whatever that may be. Recapture. This depends, of course, on how long you've been in business. If you have former clients, then there should be some behaviors built around recapturing those. What does that look like? Okay. Again, could be phone calls. Could be, checking a report on LinkedIn to see who's moved from one company to another. Maybe a former client of yours has now moved to somewhere else and you can reach out to them. Lastly, looking at expand. Now, keep and expand have to both do with existing clients, but they're different conversations. Keep is all about keeping them at the current levels of engagement and what they're buying from you. Expand is all about growing that relationship. So you might be, offering them one service that you provide, but there's a second service that you could be providing them. So what types of conversations, what types of behaviors are you engaging in to maximize those expand opportunities? So with those 4 quadrants, what we should walk away with is a full prospecting behavior plan that you engage in regardless of what else is going on, right? Unless you're sick and in bed or on vacation, that behavior plan and that prospecting plan is happening every single day, every single week. And some guidance here. Let's pretend you've never done anything like this and you think it could help you and you want to implement this. My suggestion would be start small. Don't have 7 things in each quadrant. Maybe you start with 1 thing in each quadrant that you can tackle and that you can definitely get done. Okay, so maybe it's on the keep side. I'm going to call 1 client a week and just check in, ask how things are going. On the attain side, 15 cold calls a week. Now you can always do more, but at a minimum, what are some small ways that you could begin to develop this new habit? Then if you do that successfully for a couple of weeks, add in some more. Maybe you increase the number of what you're doing or you add in a different behavior altogether. But the goal is that you work up to a point where every week, hey, when I do these things, I hit my numbers. I hit my goals. And let me talk about that for just a second. This is something we see quite commonly with companies. A lot of time they're super focused and only focused on the end result. And by the way, results are the name of the game. I'm not denying that. But all they're focused on is the monthly number or the quarterly number. The problem with that is those are lagging results. Those are lagging indicators. So by the time you know what the number is for May, May's over and there's nothing you can do about it. What we found is when people drill down and they build that behavior plan that they know will eventually lead to the results, those are called leading indicators. So let's pretend you created a behavior plan that will get you there. Well, if you're a manager, if you're a business owner, and it's the end of the week and they didn't hit those behaviors, well, you can address it 3 weeks sooner. You can address the behavior issues much, much sooner than waiting for the end of the month when it's over and there's nothing you can do. So if you're a business owner or a sales manager, sales leader, not only should you help your team create their behavior plan, but that is what they should be measured against. If they are executing the behaviors, that's a victory, right? That's what we want to focus on. And yes, it's going to take a little massaging. It's going to take a little trial and error to figure out exactly, all right, when I do X amount of this, Y amount of this, Z amount of this, it will turn into the end results we're looking for. And that's okay. But once you've got that dialed in, then it just becomes a blueprint. It becomes a blueprint to hit those results that you're looking for. So as we're thinking about this, I want you to take a step back and look at think about your team. I want you to think about your own territory. Depending on how long you've been doing what you're doing or how long your team has been doing what they're doing, all 4 quadrants might not apply in the beginning. If you brought on a brand new salesperson last week and they're in a brand new territory for the company, well, really the only quadrant they should focus on is attain. But you might also have another salesperson on the team that they've been in their territory for 10 years with you guys. Yes, they should be spending time in all 4 quadrants. So it's okay for those behavior plans to look a little bit different based on who's in the territory, how long they've been there, what the company's focusing on. As an organization, you might have a completely different team that focuses on expanding and keeping existing clients. So your sales team might be the ones working on attain and recapture, and your customer service team might be the ones working on expand and keep. Regardless of who's doing it, we want to have a plan in place. We want them to understand exactly what needs to be done and with what frequency and the volume and all that. So, Earl, this is one of those things. I just need to say this again because not everyone is interested in being their best. And I hate to be blunt, but it's the truth. So for those people, yeah, they're probably going to do okay. Just keep going on in their comfort zone and just, humming along. But anyone I've ever studied, met, learned about, the Michael Jordans of the world, right? The Tom Brady's, the people in my industry, Earl, in your industry, those that are interested in maximizing their performance, they have a defined plan that they stick to and they execute every day and every week.
So awesome, Jason. So many really great points and nuggets there. I do want to quickly just apologize to all of our LinkedIn guests. It looks like the platform we use to broadcast these podcasts is called StreamYard. It looks like mid segment here, there was a problem with the broadcast to LinkedIn. It started to loop and then it dropped. We've tried to reconnect that and it won't reconnect on the fly here while we're live. So if hopefully some of you saw our notes to go join us on YouTube or Facebook instead of LinkedIn. If not, this will be recorded and available across all those platforms. But Jason, coming back around to the topics here, just I invite everybody to remember that CARE acronym: keep, attain, recapture, expand. Of course, you spent quite a bit of time, detailing that out, and certainly it's so incredibly important to focus effort in each one of those categories, and not just effort, but being methodical, like you mentioned, reverse engineering your pipeline, understanding what the metrics are, how many cold calls, how many appointments you need to do, how many discovery and presentation appointments, and how many proposals you got to present, and all that kind of stuff, right? In order to back into your the numbers you need out of your pipeline, right? And then you talked about the cycle of which, yes, that is my dog over there on the couch behind me. Allie's making a cameo. Hey, Allie.
They're learning too. It's good. It's good.
Anyways, you talked about the repetitive cycle, and I can tell you we see that, and I've seen it throughout my 2.5 decade journey so commonly with sales professionals, or just any startup. The co-founders are generally the rainmakers, right? They are the salespeople in those early days, and you see that same repetitive cycle happen when you prospect your heart out, you fill your pipeline, and then you spend all your effort on closing those opportunities, and then your pipeline's dry when you finish and close out those opportunities. And oftentimes, depending upon the product or service that you're selling, if it's not something that's simple, quick, and transactional, to refill that pipeline and to start closing more opportunities again out of that pipeline, it can take months. And I see a lot of salespeople habitually lose their jobs in that process. They come on in that attain category. They start prospecting, they fill their pipeline up. They look good out the gate, they start closing some good business, and then they go dry for 3, 6, 9 months, and they're working hard to fill the pipeline again. But a lot of employers don't have the patience, nor frankly, do they have the means by which to keep those people employed if they're not bringing revenue to the business. And so I see this as a huge mistake that is made by sales professionals, very, very commonly, is to not be methodical about making sure that they are putting adequate effort into that attain category all the time, every day. You've got to be doing activity. And even myself, I do, as a founder, CEO, again, almost 2.5 decades in, every day I have activity that is in my attain, category, that's in my expand, in my keep, categories, some in recapture. And we talked about that. That's something we need to do better at, honestly, at Nexus IT, in that recapture category, and be more intentional about. But if you take anything away from today, remember not to fall prey to the repetitive sales cycle, the pipeline cycle. Reverse engineer your numbers and know what behaviors and actions you've got to take in order to produce what is being asked of you, or to hit the targets that you want to hit. keep, attain, recapture, expand. So, really great points here today, Jason. I really appreciate all the time and you sharing your expertise, your abundance with the community today. Where can everybody connect with you and, look you up in order to engage if they would like to?
Sure. So it's Caywood Consulting LLC on all platforms, and then my website cc.sandler.com. And yeah, please connect with me. Any questions? If you need any clarity on anything, yeah, shoot me a message on LinkedIn. I'm happy to offer any clarity. But Earl, just again, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for this invite and all that you're doing for the community. I'm very thankful to be a part of it today.
Oh, it's such a pleasure for me. Honestly, it really is. It really is. And by the way, if you're not familiar with the Sandler, sales methodology and training, definitely look up, Sandler, look up Jason, connect with him on that front. It is something that we have used in Nexus IT and continues to be part of our sales process, and really great instructional tools and a lot of help that can be given to sales teams or even just founders that are looking to get their ventures up and running and off the ground. Quick reminder that coming up on future episodes of Tech Beat, we've got Johnny Hanna, Bassam Salem, James Jensen, and Sid Tetro coming up. So keep an eye out for those, as well as several other distinguished guests. For today, Jason and I are done, so we're going to sign off. We appreciate you all joining us here on Tech Beat today. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks so much.
See everybody.